So, what is the best way to tell a story? A story as exciting as the Raxio Data Centre story? Well, you simply have to go back and start at the beginning of how all this unfolded. In the beginning, there was a dream that was bred in Africa. Africa, the home of a special country called Uganda. Yes, Uganda, the Pearl of Africa. And that dream was to build a world-class data center in the heartland of Kampala. They say it is the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Why would anyone want to build a data center in Uganda? What was the motivation, the dream, the vision?
We decided to build a data center in Uganda because it is a great mix of the trends that are propelling data center growth around the world. So that gives us a customer base that really needs the services that we provide and that values them.
What an interesting start to an amazing story. So, one would ask, how did the connection come about?
I had met Brooks through a mutual partner. So he asked me about the telecom business, told him how things were going. So he asked me what opportunities I was seeing in the market. And I basically told him that really I think the opportunity is around building a data center in Uganda. And he responds to me with the strangest things, like, I've actually been looking to invest in a data center. And Uganda is one of those markets we've been thinking about. That's about the time when now Robert comes into the picture to really, steer this ship.
What a unique story. The story is as unique as the name itself, Raxio. In fact, did you know the name Raxio stands for Rax, input and output? Well, now you know.
From an investor perspective, from a ROHA perspective, what we do is we look precisely at this kind of opportunity. So we look precisely at where there are evident gaps between supply and demand. And the more we learned about it, the more we were convinced that data centers were an area that required further investment and attention on the continent.
We see this as one of the unique economies across the region that has this mix of both interest from global players like Google's major investments in fiber, growing local demand, and really a progressive financial services sector that allows us to have a pretty dynamic business.
Looking at Raxio Data Centre, one thing is evident: use of the best world-class partners. That is the team behind the development and construction of the world-class facility. So how exactly was this team of experts set up?
After site selection, the next stage was to basically figure out how we build this thing. And this is when now ROHA really came and stepped into the play. And they already engaged a UK firm called FutureTech, who is basically a world-class data center designer. We chose Rocco as the main contractor on the civil works. Then we now had to look at who is our M&E contractor. So we ended up with Giza Systems and Meta. So we basically built a team out of the two. So we needed consultants to work with. On the architecture side, we had Symbion, we had Build Cost as our quantity surveyor, and of course through Symbion we managed to now get a couple of other, smaller consultants for different things that would basically be able to complete, the whole picture.
Wow! What an introduction to the amazing story as told by the people who brought to life the Raxio Data Centre story. Being a part of something special, like the construction of Raxio Data Centre, is a dream come true. How did the team feel working on a project such as this?
First of all, we were delighted when we were approached by Raxio to be the consultant who would design and oversee the construction of this facility. We know that it was a unique facility, the first of its kind within the country, and we really appreciate that we would be part of this new endeavor within the country.
For me, it was quite a challenge in terms of the type of project.
What were the expectations working on this project?
Our expectations on this project was that it would have several disciplines who would have to collaborate to achieve this feat. So there would be a lot of interaction and innovation on our part to successfully achieve this project within the country.
How different was this project from others the consultants and experts have worked on?
Multi-story buildings, which in design it changes, differs, but in principle it is the same thing.
In spite of not featuring in this documentary due to logistical challenges, Raxio Data Centre would like to recognize the efforts and contribution made towards the construction of Raxio Data Centre. Raxio Data Centre was a unique project, not only with regards to the magnitude of the project, but also the special understanding it took for the market to get the big question: why does one need the facilities provided at Raxio Data Centre?
These are critical for storing data, both personal and business and government data here locally, and storing it in a way that's safe and secure and readily accessible.
So, how did the market embrace Raxio Data Centre? Has there been progress made towards the market, understanding the unique proposition that Raxio Data Centre brings to the table?
We really had to sensitize the market. We did this through conferences, through webinars. We had customers visit our data center to understand what we are doing versus what the market has in place. We have about 70% occupancy for our phase 1 deployment.
We all know nothing amazing comes easy. And throughout the construction of Raxio Data Centre, there was a number of construction challenges that stood in the way of the timely completion of the world-class data centre.
Timelines, mainly because of COVID-19, delivery of specialized workers who are not in country.
The construction of Raxio Data Centre experienced back-to-back challenges that were unforeseeable at the onset. With these challenges, how did they manage to overcome the changes in timeless while delivering on a world-class data center project of this magnitude?
We had to restructure our delivery timelines on this project. We updated our policies to achieve this. And then for items that were being manufactured and procured out of the country, we had to engage those partners and suppliers and renegotiate different routes and ports to deliver some aspects that were affected by this pandemic.
What an amazing story it has been. As we start to finish this important story, will we see another data center in Uganda? What does the future hold beyond this? And where does Raxio Data Centre go from here?
Right now, we are seriously thinking about maybe starting this next year, building UG2, because we do have customers who basically are saying, you cannot give us this very nice world-class facility and then we keep the rest of our kit in a lousy location. We're also watching closely, obviously, the evolution of the oil and gas sector in Uganda, and we're thinking about the possibility of maybe building a data center to meet the requirements of the Albertine Valley. This is still very, very early days, but if there was a Raxio UG3, that might be the kind of location that would be very exciting. And then that way we can build a triangle of data centers where, you know, you can have multiple locations in case there was that once in a lifetime experience where maybe we lose one of the facilities, whether it's connectivity or whatever it is, you can always recover from the other two. Or anyway, even if it's just your gear that went off, you should be able to recover from the other two. So basically thinking along those lines. I think 2 is ideal for us, 3 is doable as well.
It is said good things indeed come to those who wait. And so does the business and economic ecosystem of Uganda with regards to the finalization of Raxio Data Centre, the first of its kind in Uganda. We welcome you to join us in this digital, economic and operational transformation for the good of Uganda, East Africa and Africa.